I like went off in the beginning. Your hair looks really good.
Thank you.
Where your like little grays is hitting the light. Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 11, Reunion Part 3. We have a whole more week of
I can't believe we have one more week.
So this one was a lot more fun than the previous week, especially the first part of it. We picked up where we kind of left off with Kathy Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit more insight into Kathy Hilton, and we got sort of, I think, a look into Kim, Kyle, and Kathy.
Oh, absolutely.
You have I don't have any experience with Kim other than I think the 5 episodes of season 5 that I watched.
Mm-hmm. She's just definitely, of the 3 sisters, she is just a touch more, and forgive me for this word, but she's a touch more tragic, I think, than the other two.
Well, I was going to say she's like Daffy, right?
She's Daffy. Like, I can understand the personality eccentricities, as they called it. But then there's, of course, like the touch of like the addiction and all of that stuff. So I mourn for the relationship that we could have gotten with the 3 of them. But
there's time.
Oh, absolutely. And because Kim is clean and like doing super well, and because she made an appearance last season with Brandi Glanville because they're bestie. I know, which makes me a little sad because it's just like, it seems very predatory on Brandi's part, but you know.
Based on what I saw in season 5, I wasn't particularly fond of Brandi Glanville.
No. Careful, she could come for us.
That's what I'll say about that. Nothing really to add. I mean, we're on the 3rd part of a 4-part reunion here, so there's a lot of rehashing, but it was just nice. I came into this a big fan of Kathy Hilton. I was affirmed in my fandom of Kathy Hilton, and it was just a lot of details, and man, the reverence for her mother.
Oh, yeah.
I find interesting.
Yeah, I'm so sad that we never got their mom.
I wish that American Woman kept going. Because I didn't know anything about it.
Oh, and you watched it?
2 or 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
And with the intent to keep watching it, and it just it got away from me. But, yeah, we got details like the dinner trays, which that makes sense that Kathy and Rick.
I just love that these people have this massive Beverly Hills mansion and they eat dinner on TV dinner trays.
I want to know how many rooms they use every day.
Oh, like 3. I mean, it maybe 4, but very, very few, I'm sure.
And we got some details because the Kathy package was very nice. The Crystal package was very nice.
Yes.
And there was a 3rd package. Maybe it was just more Erica stuff. We did find out more information about the lady.
Paula.
Her name is Paula.
Hey, Paula.
And she was the housekeeper that brought out the stuff for them when they were eating with the dinner trays in that one episode, which I remember.
And then showed up on the 405 with Kathy's purse. So good job, Paula. We stand.
And we found out that the fan did come from their mother.
The standing fan. Yeah. I mean, I sleep with a standing fan. So I have the overhead fan on full blast. I have a standing fan. When I didn't have central air in Minnesota, I had the window unit that I ran all year long. And then when I'm at my parents' house, like I don't like the way that their overhead fan sounds. So I have a fan app that I turn on to listen to.
I need that.
Oh, I'll show you.
Oh my God.
My phone. Yeah. But yeah, it's great.
Do you remember, and I know you do, but this is for the audience. Do you remember my room from high school?
Until the day I fucking die.
Frigid.
I can smell it.
That makes it sound weird.
No. It smelled like underwater. Like if you could bottle the smell of like a pool, but not a pool because it didn't smell like
a saline pool.
Yeah. Just very light and airy and clean.
But not like sterile.
No.
Like so my
You're
room,
like a water nymph, like whatever a water nymph would smell like.
My room was in the corner and it was in the sun, direct sun all day. And so when I was like 13 or 14, my parents got me a window air conditioning unit. And that thing was on from the moment it plugged in till the moment my parents sold the house. And I had that set at a ripe, like, 62.
Yeah.
Like,
as you should.
Everybody would come into my room and, like, bristle.
I'm telling
like,
you, best sleep I ever had in my life because I was cold and I was drunk.
Because then when it's cold, you get to pull the blankets.
Absolutely. No, I am a troll when I like to go to sleep. I want it cold and dark.
Uh-huh.
That's what I want, with a hum. So I am a troll that likes to live under a waterfall in the months of February.
So we got Crystal's package. I can't explain it, and then I'm going to proceed to explain it, but I love Crystal.
Yeah, she's great.
I've been nervous because I don't watch a ton of reality TV, and so there's a stigma around it, and there's sort of a belief that, like, reality TV has to be all drama all the time and screaming and, like, prostitution whore and, like, throwing legs and, like, beast. I know some of it. And so I was a little bit afraid that I was like, oh, maybe her days are numbered because she just doesn't bring a lot of that to the table. But there's been talk about this season, and I think to a lesser extent last season being particularly good season because the cast is slightly more eclectic. And I've said, I don't know, your extent of watching our coverage. This has been weird because we started so late, so it took us a good week or two to find our stride. And then we did, and then immediately we went into the reunion. So we then had to sort of find. So this was slightly odd coverage, but I find Crystal to be a very necessary stabilizing force. She's very grounded. She's very practical. I think I think she's a lot of fun and certainly capable of being a lot of fun. But she's not like kind of like loopy or in your face the way Lisa Rinna is.
Right.
And so it's good to pair them together and stuff. I am so glad that we brought back up the more so the her and Sutton. So we brought their fight back up, or their
ugly leather pants.
Those pants are amazing.
Those are a paper bag, cinched waist leather pant. Yes, please and thank you.
And especially on her, to quote Kathy Hilton, I thought the pants were darling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can see how Sutton might be jealous of that. I don't think she would wear them as well as that's Crystal.
Since we had to cut some stuff out last time.
I've warmed to Sutton a decent amount.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's not consistent enough to be the most hated cast member. She's just she pushes and pulls.
She has that like kind of bratty, and it's not quite know-it-all, but it's like that girl in elementary school who was named Allison or something like that. And you're always like, fucking Allison, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and then it's like you have the one coming together and you're like, Allison's
she's
okay.
fine.
And then she says one thing, you go, fucking Allison, man. Yeah.
She just maybe the one that reminds the teacher she forgot to give you homework or something.
Yeah.
Not exactly that, but akin to that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, she's cool, and then she does some uncool shit. To quote Luann, don't be all uncool. We need to. Never mind. We need to get you to watch New York.
She's also the one at a time. She would be the girl that I think like fell to pieces at her own birthday party.
Obviously.
Like, just hit the wall.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, the fact that she needed a roller to like, keep herself calm, having a grown-ass conversation. My God.
I was glad that they brought that back up. I still wish someone, even in the audience, would have stood up and said, though the word violation was used by both women, feeling violated is different than violating someone. One is active, one is passive. And we got the closest with Crystal being like, and I actually love that she just flat out was like, I'm not going to apologize for how I feel.
Right. And when she said that she was mad that everyone else was trying to police her feelings, which is absolutely valid. And I'm glad that she said the thing, which was what I assumed and I said, that we were dealing with her body dysmorphia and eating disorder issues.
And also an overnight trip with strangers.
Yeah.
That is being recorded.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a lot.
there's a saturation point. Like, you can reach a stress threshold where it's like, and again, how Sutton has kind of gotten away unscathed there, because it's like, I understand in the moment when you play the footage that she wasn't doing anything shifty by bringing her coat back. If you back up completely to an hour before when they had a giant fight, there was no reason. The coat would be there in the morning. Like,
but I'm sure she was like, I'm gonna extend an olive branch and do the nice thing.
They were also wasted by that point. Sutton and Kyle were like cackle drunk.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so glad that they brought up the don't see color conversation, because I knew it. I called it. I feel vindicated. No, I mean, you weren't fighting me, but I feel vindicated because that's what pissed off Crystal was that conversation the first night. And it's like, had that not happened, I think the entire rest of the weekend, and I don't think that it pissed off Crystal to the point where it ruined it. Okay, I think pissed off was the wrong word. I think that's what soured.
Oh yeah, it definitely put her in a different mental space for sure.
And especially in regards to Sutton, because Sutton was so defensive. And dear white people out there, when it comes to these uncomfortable subject matters, topics, whatever, so often when it comes up, we A, want to deflect, or B, if we go into it, we want to signal that we are not that. Oftentimes, while still being that, unbeknownst to us. So just lose, somehow fight that urge to be defensive. Fight the urge, like it, because I used to do it. It took me,
Well, I witnessed something last week at my job where one of my coworkers, who is a person of color, had a customer who was white be completely horrendous to her, and it was really gross. And me and my other coworker, who is also white, all we kept doing was falling all over ourselves to try to make it better for our other coworker, who literally had to go take a lap. And so I realized it because we kept being like, we're so sorry. And she was like, it's fine. And then it was like, at one point I had the click where I was like, I had to stop, because now I'm aligning myself, even though I'm like, I don't claim her as my people. I am doing the thing where it's not my business to try to make it better for her. It's not my business to try to make her feel better, because she needs to work through the whole experience.
It's apparently called wellness checks.
Yeah. Ugh.
And it can get tiresome.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. So my point overall is that when these things come up, resist the urge to be uncomfortable and or defensive, and actually
be uncomfortable and lean into it. Live in the discomfort. And understand. Oh, take a note of it.
Let me teach a couple things. I don't understand. Or can you elaborate on that? Or, well, do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And then put that in your back pocket. And then when you're home alone, get on your computer and find some required reading. And
because thankfully, and they brought it back up again within this episode, but the conversation picked back up again with Kathy Hilton. And it was a near identical conversation. However, Crystal herself even pointed out the tone was different.
Absolutely. Context is everything. Everything.
And I think a lot more was accomplished that second time. Also, Kathy wasn't defensive.
No.
She said her piece. And because here's the other thing. You never have to. There's a you don't just have to agree.
No.
Like you can hear someone out and choose to believe whatever you want to believe. You know what I mean? But you owe people the decency of like hearing them out.
Yeah, because Kathy, with other people, she could have absolutely said what she said about growing up with Michael Jackson, and then
she had such a power.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Power move.
I feel like she just sprinkles those things. It's great. Anyway, she absolutely could have said what she said about not seeing color. And then Garcelle could have said what she said about like, I'm a black woman first. Or you see that I'm a black woman before everything else. Well, she and Kathy could have absolutely been like, well, no, and X, Y, and Z, and like gotten all like about it and being like a shaking chihuahua and her defensive feelings. But instead,
which is kind of what Sutton does.
Yes. But so instead, Kathy shut the fuck up and she listened, which is what she needed to do and successfully did in that moment. So snaps to Kathy for keeping her ears open and her mouth shut.
We gather that she, you know, that it resonated, that she understood and all that. But even like I was saying, in the moment, she just allowed the evening to progress. Like she didn't ruin the night for everybody. Because I forget, there was a third person in the kitchen with Sutton and Crystal.
Kyle.
Was it Kyle? Mm-hmm. And furthermore, it's like, I understand what Sutton thinks she's saying when she said, I don't see color. Mm-hmm. But
well, she said it herself in the tweet that she posted,
which was so much better. Mm-hmm. I just like, and maybe
she
it was
sober, and she probably talked to her media team about it.
And maybe it was a mistake on Crystal's part for giving her too much credit with the "you're not one of those girls, are you?" who doesn't see. She was like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah,
but I don't know. I really, really loved where they got, and again, credit to Sutton. She. I think she's navigated through 3 parts of this reunion with aplomb. So
yeah, because she's and she hasn't cried.
No, yeah, I think she's been great. So, and I like the glimpses into Crystal. I like the especially the her and Erica with the My Kind of Woman.
Oh yeah, with her working at the escort agency.
And I agree. And I do kind of respect and admire Crystal saying that the main reason why she took this job was so that she could be, you know, a prominent, you know, Asian person.
Representation.
Representation. Mm-hmm. And especially, I mean, she's a very interesting or unique window because she has money and power. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's always going to be a slightly different scenario or a slightly different rodeo when you also put that on the table.
I'm just so genuinely confused about people being so hateful to her, because she said that she still gets hundreds and hundreds of messages of hate every single day, and I just don't understand why. Like I do, because people are fucking idiots, and you know, I've heard racist bullshit before, but I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, what a fucking stupid way to think. You know what I mean? And this country, you know, everyone, we've talked about it. You learn about Ellis Island. You know, we are like the mixing pot or whatever.
Melting
and so
pot.
there you go. Mixing, melting. I'm not good at baking.
Well, you said mixing bowl in another episode. So
did I?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It worked. I was like, I'll allow that.
little this, mix them all together.
Just smash them together.
Yeah, but so I don't understand. I really don't. And to be that disgusting, to seek out a person, to leave a stranger a nasty comment because of their culture, my brain does not compute. It just
makes me think that you're, well, A, stupid, but B, like, boring.
Right.
There are so many real reasons to hate somebody.
Oh my God. Get a personality. Jesus Christ. But
Stand
it's just
for
like,
something.
Yeah. Oh my God. But it's just like these people in one breath will like say something hateful to an Asian person, and then in the next breath go to the fucking Chinese restaurant to fucking eat. And it's just like, you can't have it both ways, my guy. Like, what the fuck?
I'm trying to think. There was some fluff. We read some more audience questions. We continued the Erica stuff. I mean, I guess there was not growth, but I guess something was accomplished. I guess there was more.
Me becoming extremely fatigued from having the same conversation over and over again.
I don't know. I just sort of, I think we've already covered it.
Yes, and so exactly that. Why is this 4 parts? Mm-hmm. Because it's the same thing over and over and over again. I'm tired of people saying that she's not, where is her anger at Tom? She's fucking angry. Hard stop. She's
and also,
angry.
I mean, she's also conflicted.
Yes, she is in a really terrible fucking spot.
If you've been married,
and her life is falling apart. She's
if you've been married to someone for 20 years who also gave you everything you currently have and a career, it's like you're going to have complicated feelings.
Yeah.
And the reason why she's not talking about the victims, the alleged victims, is because she legally can't.
Yeah.
If she does say she's sorry to them, it's acknowledging there has been a crime and they were wrong.
Yeah, and
she's
then she
not
would likely
legally allowed to.
Right, and then she probably would be called by the prosecution to be like, why did you say that you were sorry for the victims? You obviously know that there's something going on. So she's fucked either way. And so I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed.
And furthermore, the people that are mad that she's not more upset about that she's too focused on herself. I mean, I said this last week, but I'm like,
she's the only person she can control.
And I mean, in the book of her life, she's the leading character.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure she does feel the appropriate emotions towards these alleged victims. But I mean, at the end of the day, she has to know where she's going to bed. She has to know where she's, like, it's like, and I mean, I kind of, because you and Kristen were debating about, her behavior and this stuff. And she's definitely, I'd say prickly.
Well, so the Instagram post of her, like, what is it?
Something about buffoons eating this pussy.
Yeah. So could she, instead of had her legs splayed, saying, like, if anyone needs me, you know what I mean? So there are obviously, she could have maybe.
It wasn't setting the right image.
But at the same time, there is an image that has been painted. It is a character. It is a personality that is trademarked that she kind of has to keep up with, and it wouldn't align with the same message from Erica Jane prior to the lawsuit. So, if Savage Fenty hired her as a spokesperson.
Or agent provocateur.
Yeah. And it is because of this persona. It might, who knows if it's in her contract that if she softens a bit, it might nullify the contract. I mean, we don't know.
It's probably not that, but there's also this is already done. This damage has already been done. And there's also the thing that, I mean, sometimes you don't know you've made a mistake until you've done it.
Right.
Like, I mean, at the time she could be like, I'm going to full steam ahead. Like nothing's wrong. And then she gets a lot of blowback. And it was like, oof, I shouldn't have done that. Or she could have completely changed her tone and everybody be talking about how fake she was and that it's obvious that this is real and that she's just trying to save face.
Wow, an impossible standard that we set women to achieve. And
there's a rock and then there's a hard place. So I don't know. I'm
tired, and I'm tired of being the cheese that stands alone, like being rah-rah Erica and everyone being really obtuse and being like, I just don't believe her. And it's just like, then I don't know what to tell you. Go through a really, really horrendous life experience with a spouse, and then we can have a conversation.
So I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Lisa Rinna moved her clothes out of that.
Hurrah.
Out of that garage.
We saw a really pretty pair of earrings that Mauricio had given Kyle that got stolen when she got ransacked.
Oh, there was and actually this went better than I thought it was going to, especially we came out of the gate with Dorit yelling at Garcelle. That was wolf. Because everything in comparison has been really like, but Erica talked about the dinner with Dorit and Kyle and PK and Mauricio. And, I was a little bit defensive of the dinner early on. And now, I mean, putting myself in Erica's place, I would be pretty butthurt. I have noticed that I don't think many of the women or many of the incidents on this show have involved the women saying, I shouldn't have done this and I'm sorry. There's not a lot of I'm sorry. There's a lot of
let's move on.
Yeah. And I think a lot could have gone. I mean, they got close. They danced around it. But I think a lot could have come from both Kyle and Dorit just saying, I'm really sorry. We were in the moment. It was a bit of intimate catharsis, blah, blah, blah. I didn't anticipate or I didn't think about how you would feel. Or
just, I hope you know that when you see this, we are not laughing at you. We are laughing at the overall situation because, oh my God, girl, I can't believe that you're dealing with all of this stuff and this is just hysterical at this point.
Because also, I mean, PK was spinning a tale at that point. He was telling a story and it was very funny.
Yeah.
The whole like fix the ankle, not the brain. Like all of that was very, very funny. I get it. And I understand Erica feeling hurt. I would have appreciated the other women sort of being a bit more, not quite groveling, but just a bit more like, we apologize for that.
Where like Kyle and Dorit just wanted to explain themselves instead of just apologizing.
Defend.
Yes. Yeah. Very.
And it was also very gaslighty where it was like, no, you don't understand. We weren't laughing at you. We were laughing at my misunderstanding or my miscommunication. It was like, I mean, it was a combination of many things. I said the word catharsis on purpose. I mean, that's tense, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit on Erica's side that, you know, other than gossip magazines, it's like, I don't think they can really be legally implicated in much. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, outside of subpoenas as character witnesses for them to come in and be like, do you think Erica like...
I don't know.
I mean, if anything, it would be Bravo and Andy.
Well, because they did. Bravo was subpoenaed for the unaired footage. But I'm going to pull a Kyle and play both sides of that fence. So
sometimes it pays to be diplomatic.
So I think that was about it.
Yeah, I can't wait for this to be over. I'm done.
You started off loving this, but
no, because it's just we've beat this dead horse and turned it into a costume, and then are wearing it around the block, and then taking it back off again and filling it back up with air just to beat it the fuck again. And I'm ready to be done now because I just know that it's more of the same.
So
I might just be laying on the table in the next episode, just like night.
It's like that. I don't remember if it was like Vine or what, but it was that girl just laying on her floor with like party lights in her room while the cha-cha slide is playing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Y'all.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, y'all. So, all right. Well, the usual, like, subscribe, click, point, spin a dart, throw a wheel.
Take it back now, y'all.
Bye.
Goodbye.